name's Lynn Holladay. I'm the general manager of the Colorado Springs Philharmonic, and I'm joined today by my friend and colleague, Thomas Wilson, our Associate Conductor. Thomas, it's so nice to see your face.
Good to see you, Lynn. It's been an interesting time. Are you staying home and safe and everything?
I am definitely staying home and keeping away, social distancing as much as possible. Only trips to the grocery store. And
Right.
I'm working really hard on staying sane by doing yoga some days and reading and trying not to throttle my husband, who I love.
We miss our audience so much. I miss my audience. I miss my colleagues, the management folks, the musicians, Joseph, the board, folks that I'm good friends with. I miss so many of these people. I mean, what's a week without, let's say, hearing Byron Hitchcock warm up and play things that are just impossible? Or hearing a wisecrack from Bob Yerkscheit, or hearing Chandler play a gorgeous, French horn solo. What's life without that? I miss it so much.
I can't agree more. When you spend all of your time just prepping and getting ready for performances, and then there are just no more performances, what even is life right now?
But we do have some music for the folks at home today to lift their spirits a little bit. And so stay tuned. We've got some actual music for you.
That's right. That's why we're here today. I wanted to start by just quickly asking you, Thomas, what does an associate conductor do?
Well, I conduct about half the season, most of the Pops concerts, all the educational stuff, usually New Year's Eve, Christmas, Nutcracker, and usually July 4th and 5th. And I love it. I have a great time. And I've of course got to be ready at a moment's notice to help Joseph out as well. If, say, there's a problem with a flight or something, I have to learn scores in an hour and then go in front of the orchestra sometimes. And but I love it, and it's I don't know, it's a really interesting position to have with an orchestra, because you don't have any real authority, but you still have to make great music.
Yeah, I remember being very impressed when there was a week, I can't remember if it was this year or last season, where Joseph his flight got delayed because of weather and couldn't get in, and there was one or maybe even two rehearsals that week where you were just sort of, here's this huge piece of music, are you ready? Can you be ready in an hour?
Yeah, Tchaikovsky's Seventh Symphony, that was the craziest, because it's only a rental score. And so we had like one copy of the rental score and it was somewhere else. And I didn't have it. So yeah, I got it about an hour and a half before rehearsal. And it was about 400 or 500 pages. And I just learned it as quickly as I possibly could. And I came home and I just passed out.
And I think that week you were also playing second trumpet with us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's really strange when you've been conducting for a rehearsal or two, and then suddenly you're in the back of the orchestra, and it's like everyone else is 2 rehearsals ahead of you, and you're just starting, and it does feel a little strange, because you haven't quite settled into the groove on this particular new piece that you're playing. It's tricky, but I love it. I mean, I miss so much being in front of live audiences, and even when you make those inevitable occasional mistakes in front of somebody, that 3 or 4 seconds of hearing your wrong note just float around Pikes Peak Center is just, I miss that. I really do.
Well, we are certainly we're certainly missing the performances, and that's why we're here today. We wanted to bring our audience just a little bit of music, and so I asked you to come up with some pieces from our archive you could select that you were either excited about or just wanted to share and talk a little bit about. So what did you find for us?
I wanted to lift people's spirits today. That was my main thing. And we just did a concert on the music of the Prohibition era. And the 1920s, so we're exactly 100 years ago. And it turns out it was a very, very turbulent time as well. Not only was there prohibition and all the attendant chaos of that, but of course we were headed toward a giant market crash, and women were just getting the right to vote. So that was one good outcome of it. And it was just a very chaotic time. And so it's amazing to me how music can uplift during those tough times. And music actually tends to be upbeat in the worst times. And so I picked a couple of examples from that concert. There are arrangements that I did of tunes that, two of my favorite tunes from the era, and I tried to preserve the originals, but add a little bit of orchestral color around them. And so they're just upbeat and fun, and they're short, so we can play the whole thing. So they're each about 3.5 minutes or so.
So what's the first one?
The first one is Dippermouth Blues by King Oliver with Louis Armstrong on trumpet, no less. And it's so upbeat and it's so fun. And listen especially in both of these to the amazing clarinet work of Sergei Vasilyev.
Piece of music that is.
Yeah, it's really charming and of course very upbeat. And so we're kind of hoping actually as this goes on to still reach out to our audience. And the orchestra has been incredibly generous to allow us to use some of these recordings so we can send a message to the folks at home. And so be watching our social media as we go through this experience together. And but now we're going to turn to a little bit of Jelly Roll Morton, Grandpa's Spells, which is an absolutely hilarious and fun thing. And this particular arrangement, I got it done very close to the concert, about 2 weeks from the concert. And I sent it out to the soloists. And in an email, I just put it in PDFs and I said, here, so you can practice and you have 2 weeks to get ready. And Sergei somehow missed the email. And so he comes into rehearsal and this solo part is on his stand and he just read it and it was fantastic and wow. So yes, so enjoy.
piece of music.
Yeah. Well, we got to stay upbeat. It's a tough time for all of us, but we're gonna get through it together.
I just love the jazz and the trumpets, and you can just hear all the brass working so hard and the woodwinds working so hard up there, just killing it. It's so fun.
And it's very playful, and it's got a great sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, what do we have to look forward to next?
Well, that remains to be seen. We're still sort of optimistic that maybe we could get one of our late season concerts in. We don't know because the news changes every single day, but we are keeping our fingers crossed. I really can't wait to be back together with my colleagues and in front of our audience. And so we'll see. And then if we can't get some of the late season concerts to happen, then hopefully maybe July 4th and 5th. That is the single largest gathering of Colorado Springs residents all year. That audience is usually right around 100,000 or more. And so we really hope we get everybody to get together, but it's just hard to know where things will be in July. But I thought just patriotic statement that we might wrap up with a recording from a recent patriotic concert that we did of Stars and Stripes.
one last big shout out to our patrons and our donors to thank them for their support. Thank you so much.